We went after Iraq. They did not knock down the World Trade Center, okay? It wasn't the Iraqis that knocked down the World Trade Center. We went after Iraq. We decimated the country. Iran's taken over, okay. But it wasn't the Iraqis. You will find out who really knocked down the World Trade Center because they have papers in there that are very secret. You may find it's the Saudis, okay? But you will find out. But it wasn't Iraq.
Now,
Excellent. Good to see you.
Governor Bush.
How we doing? Good to see
All
you,
right,
man.
good. How you doing? I was wondering, would you be in favor of seeing the 28 pages that have been redacted from the 9/11 Commission report? Would you
sure.
be wanting to see those released?
Yeah, I'd like to see them. You got them?
Well,
Andrea may have 'em.
Hopefully we can get them.
Governor,
Thank you.
what do you think?
Would you be in favor of seeing the 28 pages that have been redacted from the 9/11 Commission report? Would
Yeah,
you
sure.
be wanting to see those released?
Yeah, I'd like to see them. You got them?
Well,
Andrea may have 'em.
Hopefully we can get them.
Governor,
Thank you.
For the few who have seen them, they're known as the 28 pages.
In those pages are names of people who allegedly helped the al-Qaeda killers, but who have never been held accountable.
Potential sources of foreign support for the September 11th hijackers, classified by the Bush administration.
Why the 28 pages remain hidden from the public remains a mystery.
we know the 28 pages from Senator Graham and Senator Jones that have seen it, and military we've had on that have seen it. It says Saudi Arabia ran the attacks to blame Iraq. That was always the plan. And then our own government, bare minimum, stood down. And, of course, it was more than that. But we have the fact that it now, to a great extent, was an inside job.
I have read the 28 pages, and the 28 pages have nothing to do with national security, nothing, or I wouldn't be standing here. It's all about relationships and involvement in 9/11.
I want those documents declassified. I'm embarrassed to be associated with a work product that is secret.
I am convinced that there was a direct line between at least some of the terrorists who carried out the September 11th attacks and the government of Saudi Arabia. He called it a smoking gun. And he went on to say the reason for this cover-up goes right up to the White House.
This is sort of shocking when you read it. As I read it, we all had our own experience. I had to stop every couple pages and just sort of absorb and try to rearrange my understanding of history for the past 13 years and the years leading up to that. It challenges you to rethink everything.
What do we know?
I've dealt with them all my life. If you can't make a good deal with a politician, then there's something wrong with you. You're certainly not very good. And that's what we have representing us. They will never make America great again. They don't even have a chance. They're controlled fully. They're controlled fully by the lobbyists, by the donors, and by the special interests, fully. They control them. Hey, I have lobbyists, I have to tell you. I have lobbyists that can produce anything for me. They're great. But you know what? It won't happen. It won't happen. Because we have to stop doing things for some people, but for this country, it's destroying our country. We have to stop, and it has to stop now. Now, our country needs...
You know, nobody talks about the soldiers that are coming back with no arms and no legs. And I saw at Mar-a-Lago on Mondays, I make Mar-a-Lago my club that you know about.
In Palm Beach.
I make that twice now. On a Monday, I let returning Iraqi injured soldiers come to the premises. The most beautiful people I've ever seen. But they're missing arms and legs. They're with their wives. Sometimes they're with their girlfriends. And the tears are coming down the faces of these people. Well, I just hate what's happened to this country. We've gone to a country that's no longer respected. We're in a war that we should have never... And by the way, I'm worse than any hawk there is in terms of military and in terms of defending ourselves. But Saddam Hussein didn't knock down the World Trade Center. He had nothing to do with it. And there were no weapons of mass destruction.
Donald Trump brought up the fact that he would want to accommodate Russia. Russia is not taking out ISIS. They're attacking our team, the team that we've been training and the team that we've been supporting. It is absolutely ludicrous to suggest that Russia could be a positive partner in this.
Let me just tell you this. Jeb is so wrong. Jeb is absolutely so... that's just so you understand. You know what that is? That's Jeb's special interest in lobbyists talking. I only tell the truth, lobbyists. We've spent $5 trillion all over the middle. We have to rebuild our country. We have to rebuild our infrastructure. You listen to that, you're going to be there for another 50.
All right, Governor Bush, please respond.
And you can't do that with Assad in power.
We're supporting troops that we don't even know who they are.
Okay,
We're supporting
this is
troops
ridiculous.
that we don't even know who they are.
Trump. All right.
We have no idea who they are.
Gentlemen, I think we're gonna.
My brother was building a security apparatus to keep us safe, and I'm proud of what he did. And he's had the gall to go after
the World
my
Trade
mother.
Center came
He's
down
had
during
the gall
your
to go
brother's
after
reign.
my mother.
Remember that.
Hold on.
Let me finish this. He's had the gall to go after my mother.
That's not keeping
Look, I
us
won
safe.
the lottery when I was born 63 years ago.
How did he keep us safe when the World Trade Center came down? The World, excuse me, I lost hundreds of friends. The World Trade Center came down during the reign of George. He kept us safe. That's not safe. That is not safe, Mark.
All right.
That is not safe. I've been listening to. That's why we've been in the Middle East for 15 years, and we haven't won anything. We've spent $5 trillion in the Middle East because of thinking like that. George Bush made a mistake. We can make mistakes, but that one was a beauty. We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East.
But so you.
They lied.
Okay.
They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass destruction.
One statement you made, I'm really having trouble getting over, frankly, and I want to ask you about it. As a matter of fact, when I was watching the debate and you made this statement, I had to apologize to my children for the words that came out of my mouth when you said what you said, and that was, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, so correct me if I'm wrong. Sure. When you said that George W. Bush, which was our last Republican president, a man I respect greatly, a person that we really fought for when he was up against a lot of pressure, that he lied to get us in the war in Iraq. That stung me very deeply. I don't believe that. I'm just wondering, given some time passing, perhaps you've rethought that? Would you be willing to rethink that?
Well, a lot of people agree with what I said, and I'm not talking about lying. I'm not talking about not lying. Nobody really knows why we went into Iraq. The Iraqis did not knock down. It was not Saddam Hussein that knocked down the World Trade Center. Okay,
that's just what you said was they lied. They said there were weapons of mass destruction, and there were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass.
Well, there are a lot of people that think that. There were a lot of people that think. Look, bottom line, there were no weapons of mass destruction. They said there are weapons of mass destruction. I was against the war when it started.
You think the president
may think that he kept the country safe after 9/11? Are you worried that?
What does that mean? He kept the country safe after 9/11. In other words, we had this major catastrophe, and after that, what does that mean? I don't know. See, I've heard that for years. You know what? I've heard that for years, Jeremy. I've heard for years he kept the country safe after 9. What does that mean? After? What about during 9/11? I was there. I lost a lot of friends that were killed in that building. The worst attack ever in this country, it was during his presidency. You mean we had the worst attack ever? By the way, after that, we did okay. That's meaning the team scored 19 runs in the first inning, but after that, we played well. I don't think so.
Why didn't any Democrat say that over and over again? Isn't it amazing? What a giant fail by the entire Democratic Party and the entire media. Like, imagine if Al Gore was president. You think the Republicans would have been like, oh, now let's be fair to Al Gore. It's only 9 months into his presidency. No way. Oh, let's be fair to Al Gore. He got a memo saying bin Laden determined to attack inside the United States, and he didn't do anything. What do you think Fox News would have done to him? They would have ripped him to shreds. But for all this time, for 15 years, nobody says the most obvious thing in the world. And by the way, that's why Trump is winning. Because he comes out and says things that are, yes, sometimes maniacal, and we're going to get to that in a second, and sometimes things that are just common sense. People go, yeah, that's true. Oh, wait, yeah, that's right. 9/11 happened on his watch. Why does it take a madman to say something so obvious? Why did the media not say this for 15 years? Okay, so